Hi, your next challenge is called Convert Number to Corresponding Month Name. You are to create a function that takes a number from 1 to 12 and returns its corresponding month name as a string. For example, if you're given 3 as input, your function should return March, because March is the third month. And they have a handy chart here in case you don't have these memorized, and the normal examples, but I think this is clear enough for everyone to understand. So let's get on with it. Now's your turn to make the solution. I'll go into mine. You're free to have done a bunch of if-else statements, checking it. If num equals 1, return the string January. If month equals 2, etc. down the line. And maybe return some error value if the month number was outside the range of 1 to 12. You could do this with a switch statement if you want some practice with that. That would be good too. Those things, if you still have to think about them, you should probably just type them out and get it to the point where you just sort of breathe it. So I applaud anyone who is going to do all that. That's great. That's good for you. I'm going to use a class I found in the documents. This handy date time format info has a get month name where you give it an integer, as you can see down here. And it looks just like that chart on the instruction screen, doesn't it? And I don't think there's anything else to note on here. You will get an exception for invalid input, so they sort of handle that part of it. Okay, and the other thing to note though is that this get month name is not a static method like we've been using, which means we need an object of this date time format info to call this method name from. So to do that, we'll go to this class, and I think that they should have an example for us. Yeah, let's take this line right here. This will make it the object that we need. Paste it in. So that gives us our date time format info object. Now we can take that object and call its get month name like we saw, and just give it our input, and we want to return that. That's our result. Again, if you didn't want this DTFI here, you could chain this all into just one line. I broke it out. It's a little bit easier to read this way, that way we don't spill off the screen. But if you're working in an IDE, you probably have enough room to accommodate that. Other thing to note is that I'm in the United States and using this. If you didn't want that sort of output, you may want to tweak this parameter to your country. Let's give this a try. Typer names, oh sure. The date time format info could not be found. And they even recommended. That's exactly what we want. Because if we go back here, right at the top they should tell us, see, we need this namespace, this system globalization. So thank you, handy error message. That was quite useful. System globalization, and that should be able to pull everything it needs to make this code make sense. Yeah, there we go. Wasn't that a lot better than writing out all the if statements to check 12 different numbers? Again, it's already done for you. Don't reinvent the wheel. So that should do it for this challenge. Hit me up with questions as usual. Thanks for watching.